Thanks, Paul, for inviting me. I live out in Denver, so I'm not often in DC. It's nice to see so many old friends in the room, and for those of you that I haven't met, I run a regulatory team that's mighty, and it's two of us, and David's with me in the back of the room. And we are attorneys by trade, but as I start all of my conversations with the companies within our portfolio, we are not your lawyers. And I want to talk to you just a little bit about kind of what they are asking the companies within our portfolio and what they're concerned about in DC. And maybe this will help all of you to kind of understand what their concerns are to forge forward with the fight that we are currently, I think, having an upward hand to fight these days. So our firm is, with the crypto fund, we have approximately $7 billion of assets under management, and there are over 100 companies just in the crypto portfolio alone. And it's everything from picks and shovels infrastructure to content creation, Web3, NFTs, to financial services, to self-hosted wallets, et cetera. So it runs the gamut as far as the type of technology and, of course, the type of regulatory exposure that they may have as businesses. And I would say the vast majority of those companies within the portfolio would be classified as DeFi, even if they are not classified as financial institutions or BSA covered. So what are they asking? Everybody's super excited since the election and this new administration has come in, and we've had a turnover of personnel in the agencies. But what have I said to them? I have said that we're in mile 2 of a marathon. As Jessica was just saying, we still have a long way to go with legislation that we need to get passed. And more importantly, even with this administration, the national security threat and the illicit finance threat is still always there. And as we know, even with this party, they have their share of national security hawks, and this is understandably something that they is in their minds when they're thinking about legislation, what the language is going to be, and reacting to whether it's hacks or scams or fraud, et cetera, in the industry. So it's not the land of milk and honey. All of the laws that were always on the books are still on the books. And specifically, I've given a little bit of insight that I'd like to share with you about how I view this DOJ memo that came out. And the reason why I guess I have an opinion about this to share is that I spent most of my career at the DOJ, and the last couple of years when I was there working out of the criminal division here at headquarters, setting policy and procedures for the DOJ on prosecutions involving cryptocurrency, seizures involving cryptocurrency. And what I have advised people is, again, my personal opinion, this is a good memo. This is saying to the prosecutors in the field, you need to step back and take care in how you're bringing your cases. That you are not regulators, that you need to be focused on criminal activity and looking at who is appropriately responsible for that. I would say that a lot of people yelled and screamed in each direction about the disbanding of the NSAT. We've seen, for those of us that have been in the government for a long time, when I was in the government, we've seen that priorities and resources move and change, so that was not a surprise. But what they need to understand is a lot of the prosecutions are happening at the U.S. Attorney's offices and not at headquarters. We have indeed seen those prosecutions happening primarily out of the Southern District of New York, and they are still up and running. So the takeaway is there are still conversations to be had with legislators about fixes to statutes that maybe have been interpreted too broadly and are covering technology that they shouldn't. And I think that there are still suggestions that we can make in the rulemaking processes as they go forward that are going to improve this. And North Korea, unfortunately, is still the really better foe in most circumstances. And sanctions compliance, as I like to smile and say to them on the Zoom calls, is for everyone. And so I think that for those of you that are attorneys in the room, the companies are maturing and growing and feeling really confident about the new environment that we're in and the ability to launch tokens in the US and those who've left the US to come back into the US and do business. And they are going to need resources, both policy professionals and attorneys. Those roles are scarce when it comes to those people who are familiar with the technology and are not going to have the learning curve. And so know that not only our firm, but a lot of the VC firms have talent teams that are helping place attorneys and policy folks within those companies, and they need you. And they are also very eager now to engage with those of you in the government who are working, whether at regulatory agencies, intelligence agencies, or with law enforcement. And we need to take advantage of that opportunity as cross-functional members of this community to engage. Because there was a time for a while where I think startups were very nervous and cautious to come in and talk to folks in the government, and now I think they're really open to do so, and I think there's a lot that we can accomplish together. Finally, just to leave you with the theme of this conference and this group, or this breakfast in this group. Privacy, we invest a lot in privacy technology. It's really, really important in the blockchain ecosystem. I know that I don't have to say that to this group, but I have found over the years that I think hammering and amplifying and parroting that narrative over and over again, it does seep in. And we have to continue doing it because I think that as people and human beings, when you're talking to someone on the Hill or as a regulator, they personally know this, but we have to remind them. We have to remind them about the importance of privacy and why we need this technology. And thank you very much for having me. I'm sorry I have to run out and I won't be able to talk to many of you, but you can get my email address from Paul and reach out to me, and we're always recruiting good folks for our investments, and I look forward to working with all of you on this fight as we go forward.